Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
All right, everybody, welcome to KBN Live. As you can see, it's a single face on the screen tonight. Ryan is tied up at his daughter's volleyball tournament. Probably won't be able to slide on with us, but we're going to hold it down with our two guests, Rupp and Jason Myers, the latest individual winner and team winners from the Kayak Adventure Series event that went down in Ohio over the weekend. As everyone that's been watching the show for a while knows, Ohio is near and dear to my heart. I'm a huge Buckeye fan and born and raised in Ohio, so we'll talk about a little bit about the Ohio fishing, because it piqued my interest when Drew scheduled an event in Ohio for the Kayak Adventure Series. But when I saw the water list and how they were going to spread out around Springfield, it made a little more sense to me, and they obviously got on them. I mean, some big smallmouths were caught. It looked like a lot of fun. So we'll talk about that with the fellas. Of course, the show is presented by Eco Fishing Shop, ecofishingshop.com. Make sure you jump on there and give their website a look over. Anything you might need, they'll white glove deliver it to your door. Every major quality kayak brand, they're carrying it now. So make sure you utilize Eco Fishing Shop. They don't only support the podcast, but they are big supporters of kayak fishing across the country. So look them up. With that said, let's get our guests in here and start talking about the Kayak Adventure Series with them. Y'all don't want to listen to me talk. So Rupp, Jason Myers, welcome to KBN Live, gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time tonight.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah. Hey, I see Elvis Lee in the comments. Elvis, I saw you were there, man. Looked like you had fun. Looked like you brought maybe your son with you and had some family fun there at the Adventure Series and had a good time. So,
yeah, his son caught an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite dudes out there on these tournament trails. So, yeah, congrats to both of you, man. Is this the first Adventure Series event that you both have fished?
Yeah.
So anytime these new series, because this was really a new series or newish series, when you get to fishing for the first time, I like to ask folks, what do you think? Because all of us have fished the typical 5-fish tournaments, one lake, that kind of thing. But when you fish something new like this, something a little different, what did y'all think of the event itself?
I'll let you take it, Jason. You fish them more than me.
The event was, absolutely a blast, from checking in till we went down there for the weigh-in at the end there. It was just a great experience altogether.
Yeah. And you said you don't fish a lot of tournaments?
Yeah, I used to. So like his kayak league that he fishes out of CKF, because Jason used to fish out of a bass boat, and he got in the kayaks, and now he gets in the CKF, the Cincinnati League, and he dominates. And me and my brother used to fish that league, and I enjoyed it. It's a great league. It was a lot of time pre-fishing lakes, and I just kind of got a little burnout on it. And obviously I was heavy in the smallmouth, but got real heavy into it, and kind of took me away from largemouth.
Sure. I get that. And it looks like you use that strength to your advantage in this tournament. So we'll get into that in a little bit. I saw the lake list for this. And like I said, when I introed the show, when they first scheduled an event and they said Springfield, that was the title city, I thought, what? I mean, I'm from Ohio. I'm like, what fishing is there in Springfield? Did I miss something when I was living there? What's going on? But then I looked at the list of lakes and rivers and creeks, and it was a wide range of places you could go. I mean, I grew up fishing Stillwater River. I saw the Miami, Little Miami on there, fished those a lot. Used to act a fool up at Indian Lake and Kaiser Lake. So all those places are familiar to me. So seeing all that kind of made sense to me after the fact. So how did everyone spread out? Was where you fish crowded? Were you guys able to get away from those folks?
It was for us, we weren't around anyone besides where I fished my second day, which I'll get into that later. I was by what's his name, Lance Cooley.
Yeah.
And he showed up in the morning at my spot, and I talked to him, and I helped him carry his boat down, and he said he was floating down, I was going up. And but other than that, no, we didn't see anyone. But right above us was a lot of guys like Brian Slayton, Riverman, Colin. There was a lot of people right above us. But other than that, I know the main rivers that played into it was GMR, the Big Darby. I think a top 10 guy was in the Big Darby. But yeah, it was, I don't think anyone was maybe on the set because they had the Scioto in there.
Right.
They had the Little Miami. But yeah, so around us, we really didn't have too much.
Okay. And did y'all go river or lake? I'm assuming river.
Oh, river. Yeah.
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 All right. Well, let's get into the actual event itself. I mean, Dylan, you were the individual champ. We'll touch on that first. Let me get this tab shared here. 96.25 inches of strong looking smallmouth. So let's talk about what you figured out. Did you just go to something you already knew, or did you pre-fish for this event?
So I know of this area. We have a local around here that fishes this a lot. But so day one, me and Jason went to a spot and the water level was perfect. It's right where he's the mad scientist when it comes to all that, figuring those levels out and stuff. I'm one of those guys that goes by CFF, the flow, like he goes by the feet. So when he's telling me feet, I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then, but anyway, so we went to that spot, and it's kind of hard for two people to fish this area, but I just knew this is a team event. So like I knew in the certain spot I could catch a limit over there, and I started throwing a crankbait. I started catching them. And then he kind of had a decent bag on Friday, and I wasn't doing too hot. We floated down. I ended up losing right in front of him, like a 20 plus on a chatterbait, and kind of was discouraged. But that's the thing about this tournament is that day, obviously, like, look, my second day, none of those fish that I won with came from Friday. It doesn't matter. So I went down, I caught an 18.25. I finished with 78 inches on Friday, and kind of felt comfortable. All I was worried about is the team event. I really wasn't thinking about the individual because I know he's a hammer, and I knew as a team we do fairly well. So second day, I told him, we got out and I said, hey man, is this going to screw you up? Because we had plans how we had it set up. And he said, no, man, it's I understand. So I went to a different spot. It was a gut feeling. And the thing is the stretch we were fishing, there's not a lot of reeds. And right now with the flow, the kind of, 6 to, I don't know, what would you say, Jason, 6 to 10 inches, maybe visibility, a little less than that.
Yeah, that day it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And I reeds, I just love them. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything special that anyone else isn't. And this stretch, man, is just choked with them on both sides, going all the way up to where I went. And it paid off.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm looking at your boat. I'll throw the screen back up there again. Are you fishing out of some sort of inflatable?
Osprey. The Osprey.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's another thing that I got that from a buddy, Luke Jackson out of Indiana. He just didn't really like the kayak thing. And I got it from him about 2 months ago. And if it wasn't for, so I normally fish out of our river in a PA 14, a 360, and it's a nightmare. I mean, it's nice for the platform, but it would have not really, I would have got up the stuff, but it would have took longer. And that Osprey with the NK300, I was just ripping up stuff. Where I met Jason, because Jason came to me and I could just get up. I mean, I was fishing weed lines that were, I mean, there was this much room of slack water, and I'm just coming up that, you know, fast water, and I'm able to fish that stuff. And I know like your shoalies can fish it, but man, it's different. It's quieter. It's fun, man. It really was the reason why I was able to add to the limit that I had.
I know Jeff Little, you know, River God, Jeff Little fishes out of something similar. Jake Harshman, a buddy of mine from Pennsylvania. I've seen those really kind of pick up, especially for guys that love fishing the river because of the shallow draft and what you can do with them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It is they, and the stability is unreal. I mean, I fish out of a Hobie, so matter of fact, it's kind of funny is normally when I fish out of my Hobie and I got to pee out the side, it's I kind of got to like brace myself just a little bit because it still leans. This thing, I ain't got to worry about that. It's so stable with those, because it's 3 chambers, 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, Jason, you had a good individual event too. Obviously, that's how you guys took the team win. And the way Dylan talked, you met him, so you were floating down to him on day 2 at least. Tell us about your individual event and what you figured out going in.
The first day we fished together, like you said, the place we fished, I'd absolutely been hammering there for a month and a half. I fished Dylan, 3 or 4 tournaments there, and
oh gosh, yeah.
My smallest bag there has been 92.5, and I really expected for us both to go down there on Friday and both of us to get over 90, and I had them on, but you know, I lost a 19 and an 18.5 about 2 foot from Dylan's nose, and it just, you know, it didn't happen. And I know this area, you can't fish it the second day because the second day they just don't bite. You beat it to death because it's only about a 3/4 mile stretch that we beat to death. And I knew better, and I was stubborn. I went down there anyways. I'd pre-fished just the week before, and fished at 3 hours, and I had almost 90 inches and a 20.5 and a 19.5. And I was just stubborn. I was trying to make fish bite that it didn't want to bite. And actually, I called Dylan about 8:30, and I was contemplating on going to actually the stretch below what he was fishing. And while I was on the phone with him, I caught an upgrade, and it made me stay there even longer. And by the time, and from where I was at to where I needed to get to my kayak was almost an hour. About I think 10:30, 11, I told Dylan, I said I'll be down there at noon. And so then on Saturday, it took me an hour to get to my truck, and then 25-minute drive to get to him. And so then I go down there and fish with him for, you know, the last 3 hours, and I end up getting 2 upgrades there, and lost another good one down there. When I start fishing too fast, I get anxious, and you're heading to a spot, and you know, some of these spots are first cast spots, and you know, before your kayak gets set, you make a cast and they grab it as soon as it hits the water, and you don't have a good angle on them, and you end up losing them.
Now, what kind of rig are you fishing out of? Are you fishing out of something similar to Dylan or totally different?
No, I have a Hobie Outback with Newport on the back.
Weighs 1,000 pounds.
Outback's slick in the river, though, isn't it?
I do pretty good in it. Yeah, I don't have any issues with it, you know, other than it being heavy, because I got a lot of crap on it.
Yeah, has it got the breakaway fins and all the whole deal on it? Yeah, gotta have that.
But I'll tell you this, the Osprey's not light. It's not light. It is with all that track and the motor, and it's heavy, but it's still so much better than what anything else I could be fishing out of.
Right. So we talked to both of you a little bit about where you're fishing and some of the reed lines, things like that, but we didn't really give up any juice. Champ, how much would you want to reveal about how you caught them?
Oh, it's not the way, as you can tell behind me, the tiny clashes and all that. It's not the way I wanted to fish. To be honest with you, in this tournament, I knew that the conditions were perfect for the river to fish a tournament. But if I could have had it, I would have had it low and clear, especially because we're post spawn. And for me, it's with the big baits, it's unreal. It's so much fun. They're so aggressive, and you can still fish those reeds. They're still in there next to the current. But I caught them all on a Z-Man spinnerbait, which was the accent spring ding color.
Right.
It's just in the Z-Man with Colorado blade. I caught two right off the rip in the morning. I caught a 19 1/4 and an 18 3/4 or a quarter. And so I was like, okay, sweet. I get up there, I catch a couple more dinks on it, and I end up casting it off. And I was throwing it just in a pinch. I was throwing it on 65-pound braid on an 8-to-1, and which is crazy. I mean, they were destroying my spinnerbait, and I kept having to fix it. But anyways, I ended up casting that off, and I went and bought one of those blackjack, the jackhammer, the all black one, and I just was like, man, I thought in my head, I was like, for one, the jackhammer does not, to me, come through the reeds and stuff as good, as we know that. It doesn't come through wood and all that good. But so I bought a bunch of the Evos, just a black and blue Evo 3/8 ounce, and I like the Zacco. The Zacco on the back of it is surprisingly, that whole day catching all those big fish, I didn't even go through a pack of Zaccos, which is kind of crazy because those things tear up so easy.
Yeah, they're soft.
And so I caught one on one of those TKs, not that bright pink one, but I got a chartreuse one. And I caught a 17 on I caught a 17 1/4 on one of these in the chartreuse, but I just knew I got lucky with that because, see, I pre-fished on Thursday in a different stretch, and I was just, with the river, you don't really need to pre-fish. You just kind of, you know where they are, and they're going to be there, besides where Jason fished, they get finicky. So I fished in a stretch, and I threw that in surprisingly, I threw it in the reeds, brought it into about 6 to 8 foot of water, had a 20 destroy that at the boat. And I just knew that was lucky. But really what did it for me is the Evo 3/8 ounce with the Zacco. And I'm going to give up a little bit of juice too. And this is not, Jason knows, he's actually kind of became a believer in this. I use the fish sticks garlic, the applicator. I'm telling you, man, it might be in my head, but I swear that thing, they hold on to it.
Anything to give you confidence, right?
100%.
Josh Evans says you get respect for that Parkway Drive banner alone.
It's funny. That's funny that he even knows just that short, little, small amount that he knows what it is. That's awesome.
Josh is an OG. You're not going to get it by him, buddy.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Now, Jason, now this is a team event, so you're allowed to communicate, right, with your team?
Yeah.
Did you do something similar? Were y'all communicating? How are you catching them?
The first day, the first part of the morning, I was getting them on a mega bass haze dong. My first 3 good ones. I caught 2 17 1/2 and a 17 1/4 on a haze dong, and I caught several more little ones on a haze dong, and then it was the jackhammer, blackjack jackhammer. But I usually always use a crawl trailer versus a minnow trailer on my jackhammers, just because I think our river gets to beat to death with the minnow trailers, and I do pretty good on the crawl trailers with the jackhammer.
Okay. I've seen some videos where the crawl trailers help it come through different kinds of cover and wood better. Do you find that to be true?
I just like the action
I believe it though.
When it bounces off something, it really does that, that hunting. I mean, a big hunting action compared to the minnow trailer.
The Josh Evans, are these guys coming to the Susky? It seems like that'd be right up your alley. You guys gonna make that trek?
So I'm going with my buddy. We're going the weekend before they have all those tournaments. The Kayak Venture Series. They got the Big Bass Power Hour. They got so many. I mean, there's going to be so many people triple dipping, double dip, whatever in those tournaments. And we're going the weekend before. Me and Ryan Dahl and our buddy Matt. Ryan Dahl's a local hammer, just like Jason around here, like well known. But yeah, we're going up there the week before. Now Ryan said if he can find those fish, if we can get on them, he might have to come back because he was mad that he wasn't here this week to fish this tournament because I mean he would have been up there too.
Sure, yeah, and it's how many times do I'm going to call it a national tournament trail, right? Come to Central Ohio. It's tough.
100%.
There's not big reservoirs there to have these kind of tournaments.
Yeah, where they eat cats and dogs.
That's right. Right there in Springfield. I was worried. Hopefully nobody brought pets or whatever there.
Yeah. No, there was no pets brought in there.
Yeah, no, it did make a lot of sense. And frankly, to be honest, for a native born Ohioan, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew there were smallmouth in the rivers, but I didn't know that we were messing around with this class of smallmouth in the river. So very impressive.
Yeah, our river has some. I mean, there's a few of us that have figured it out, and I'll usually catch somewhere between 15 and 20, over 20 every year. Yeah, I mean, Dylan catches, quite a few as well.
Yeah, I've been averaging about now that before when I threw your just normal conventional stuff, I've got into this bigger stuff and it works. I mean, I am a swim bait bro. I mean, you could tell, but like it's, it truly works. It's not bullshit. And it's helped me stack every year at least 8 20s and above. There's something to it.
Yeah, that's why. Is there a stocking program there in Ohio? Is this native fish that are this big?
Native.
It's just native fish.
Okay, I know some of the rivers down here they stock different strains from different places, but those look like northern smallmouth, man. They look like the fish on the Susky. Some of them.
I can tell you we've had very good spawns because this past year it was the water was high the whole time kind of, so they were protected. The last couple of years, right, Jason, they've been it's been pretty good spawns.
Yeah, I mean, they spawn from they'll start spawning in the creeks in early to mid-April. And they'll spawn all the way into June. There's fish still on nest right now that I had found, about 10 days ago. They were still on nest. So I mean, I think they either wait on the water to get right before they actually go up there and commit. And the ones in the creek obviously just wait on the water temperature, but the section we were fishing, it's usually the fish wait on the water level to get right before they actually come up there and commit to get on the nest.
So I'm looking at the series here, and I don't know how many tournaments they have left. I'm trying to find the page. Are you guys going to branch out and try to fish any more and try to get into some of this AOI talk, or is it going to be a one and done for y'all?
Drew talked to me about it. He's like, you got a real good chance. And I looked into it, but the guy, I don't know who finished second. I can't remember his name, but he won the Texas one, and he placed second in this tournament. So that guy's, I mean, I don't want to jinx him, but he's got it's pretty solid. So all you have to do is it's got to be 2 regular season events, and then the last one is called Broomstock. Yeah. And that one's going to be in Allegheny, or I can't remember if I think it is. And but he told me, he said, hey man, our last 2, I think regular season, I don't know if they just have 2 more, but it's the next one is so the Upper Mississippi, which is unreal. I would love to go to that one. I don't know if that's going to work. And then the Susky, and then the Allegheny. So really everything, I think the Mississippi and the Susky, he said, is just rivers. So they're not doing any surrounding area. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but so I would have a good chance knowing what I know, but I probably won't, to be honest. I might make it to that Mississippi one because that would just be fun to go in general.
Yeah, Upper Mississippi River, man. Anywhere up there, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun up there. Any questions for either one of these guys? Throw them in the comments, and we'll make sure we get them to them. I haven't been trying to follow the comments. My apologies, Joe. I've seen some of them. So if you have any questions in particular about their setups, what they were throwing, I'll get them to answer them before we let them get out of here. I've got to talk about all these swim baits behind you, Dylan. I mean, how did you get into throwing the big baits? I mean, that's, you know, you could probably pay my house off with all those hanging back there.
So I just originally I started off with like got a 5-inch bull shad, fell in love with it, throwing it on just I think I was throwing it on a John B favorite rod. And I after that, I kind of, what was my next one I got? The DRT. The DRT really got, the Tiny Clash got a hold of me. And the funny thing is I have talked to Jason, I have talked to Ryan, I've talked to all my buddies. You got to throw this Tiny Clash. And he does, he throws it, but everyone hates this bait. They cannot stand this bait right here. They just, it's like, they're like, it's a pain in the ass to work. Really, all the trick is to it is, I don't have it right now, but on the bottom of the, so I fish it in mode B. I flip this tail comes out. Let me not hook myself.
You go like whale tail mode?
Yeah. So I flip it because the tail is ribbed on my camera. It's like ridged right there, and I flip it upside down. And hold on, let me push it in here. So that puts it in like glide mode with no lip. And the trick is you have to add 1 gram of weight to in front of the hook hanger right here, and it gives it that just keeps it right below the surface, and you work it like a jerkbait. It's all seasons that you can work it slow. And all I don't do any rod inputs rod inputs. I do reel bumps. I'm a short guy, so rod inputs with a 7-9 rod is not realistic for me. Right. I can't do it, so I got to do reel bumps. But yeah, after that, I've been big into it. I've collected. I got too many that I'll never throw.
They look cool back there, though.
Oh yeah, you probably know this one. This is a novelty piece.
Okay,
that's the King by KGB.
Yeah,
it is. How big is this one? I don't even know, dude. It's like people could probably tell me in the chat, but it's like 10 ounces and like I think it's like 11 inches long.
I seen him catch a smallmouth on it in December.
Yeah,
not this one. This one. So the 9-inch Legend I throw. It's the 9-inch Legend is right here. So here's the difference. This is a 9-inch bait right there, and then
yeah, that's insane.
Look at that. I mean, but he's seen me catch fish on this. It's incredible.
Little side note, man. Kevin lives right up the road here from me. Brightwell, KGB.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Wow. You throw them? Do you?
Yeah, I'm going fishing tomorrow. I'm got a KGB on tied on for tomorrow.
Okay. Heck yeah.
I'm off. I'm a federal employee that hadn't been riffed yet, so I'm fishing. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna go fish.
Heck yeah. What size are you throwing? The 7-inch? Just Chad?
Yeah, I'm no aficionado, but I like to throw them every once in a while.
Man, it's the 7-inch. I'll tell you what, that resin or the plastic one, what do they call I don't even. I'm trying to ABS. Oh, yeah. The ABS is great. It's an amazing bait, but you're probably throwing the resin one, right?
Yeah.
The resin is where it's at. It's just it's such a good bait.
It's a little bit old, but it still does the job.
The only thing I would say to him is, which I understand and I respect it. Everyone else has rotating hook swivels. Yeah. And but I've caught fish on his baits and really not lost them because of that. I think it's just, I throw the throwback Metro a lot, and it's an incredible bait. Jason, you got 2 of them now, or You got one?
Just the one.
Just the one. It's an incredible bait. I like choppy glides. Choppy glides, if you're fishing for smallmouth, you have no reason to really fish the slower ones, because the choppy glides, you can still fish them real slow. I was fishing mine in the winter like a jerk bait. I was letting it sink, just chop, chop like a jerk bait and pausing it. And they were hitting it. As soon as I would go to chop it again, they were slamming it.
Yeah. I need to throw swim baits more. When I first started doing it, I was told to learn to throw swim baits. You got to go out there and just throw, like, don't bring anything else with you, commit and learn how to throw them, because when I first started doing it, 10 minutes in, I'm putting it back in the crate. Like, I'm not doing this. My shoulders are going to go out. I'm done. But, but when you get that first bite, it's insane. It scared the hell out of me the first time one.
Oh yeah, you do. You got to have the right reel ratio for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I throw mine on 8-to-1s, but some people like it slower. The rod is important, because with these baits, I've learned that you can't do that bomb cast, because that friction, I've lost quite a few baits doing that. So I got a low down rod, and I just get that lob, and that rod sends it out. That's good.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, Jason, it sounds like you have a few. Are you a swim bait bro, as Dylan called it, or you just have them in the arsenal?
I don't throw it as much as Dylan. I have key spots where I'll throw it, and Dylan see me catch, fish on the glide, but I mean, I'm not as dedicated as him,
He likes to catch fish. That's the thing.
There's certain spots, I mean, everybody has those first cast spots, and, and I'll throw a glide, in that first cast spot. I know last November, early December last year, me and Dylan, got on this one little run, and it was 10 or 12 minutes. One of us had one on a big bait. I mean, it was one after.
That was
actually, I went largemouth fishing on Monday, and I caught a 6-pounder on a glide, and I had I spent 6 hours there at the lake, and 5 of the hours was throwing a glide, and I ended up catching 7. And I got a live scope on my kayak, so I was scoping them, and I had the 6-pounders, almost 22 inches. It was suspended in 12 foot of water, and I got it on glide.
That's amazing. It's no, go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, he with the largemouth, with throwing glides, that, I mean, you can catch them without the Panoptics, but like that's sick that he's seen them come up. The river, it's a little bit easier to fish glides if you're like wanting to get into it. The river is so, I mean, besides losing it, you know what I mean, in a river. But the thing is last year I've had 2 days where I had 94 and a half inches and 95 and a half inches. In the matter of both of those days, I caught all those fish in less than 3 hours. And I caught a 19 and a quarter, literally put it on the donkey leash because I knew there was more in there. Cast back in there. I caught a 20, put it in the net because I was going to take some photos of them, and there's guys all around me on the river. So I'm trying to be discreet. I'm trying to keep these fish from not jumping. So I'm like, you know what? I got to cast again. So I fire back out. I catch on another pillar. I catch a 17. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyways, I took photos. It's just, seriously, I've never had, Jason could duplicate that with not swim baits. It doesn't have to be that. But for me, it's worked out that I've had some of the biggest bags I've ever had because of swim baits. I know this ain't, I'm sitting here talking like the tournament wasn't even won on swim bait. I know. And
still, hey, you guys caught them. I mean, it was a pretty simple explanation of how you caught them. So, the swim bait wall behind you, we had to get into it a little bit. We do have a question from Diggs over on YouTube. He said, how does the KAS event differ from other series, good and bad?
You go ahead first, Jason.
I actually like the half day and the full day format because, especially, it worked out really well for Dylan because, I mean, other than me being stubborn, he knew that the bite wasn't there, and he was able to go to a different spot. And I think it was just a week or so before you and I had fished that stretch, and there was actually 2 spots on that I remember. And once I got down there, I was like hitting myself in the head. I'm like, damn it, I remember. Now I remember that where they were at on here.
Yeah.
And then after I talked to him, he goes, yeah, I caught a 19 and a 19 and a half right there. Yeah, but I like the KS, the Kayak Adventure Series, just because of that half day, to get your bearings.
Yeah.
So.
And for those that don't understand what he's talking about, we've had KS folks on here before, but you get to start fishing on Friday and it's a rolling 5 fish limit. It's not 5 from Friday, 5 from Saturday, right? It's correct. In total, your best 5. So like Dylan said, he was trying to figure them out on Friday, then dropped the hammer on them on Saturday. And that's the cool part about this, right?
Yeah, that's I guess you would call that, to some people, that could be a disadvantage. Like the guy in second, or even third, or Jason, they could have hammered me if I would have just had that 78 inches and then I had the 96. So people could look at that as an advantage or a disadvantage. I think most people probably like it because it doesn't matter. If you smoke them real good on Friday, you might not even have to fish on Saturday. There's not really anything honestly bad about it, because all the stuff that I think it's like an hour radius around you. And I guess the only bad thing I could say is like the drive to get up there, because we were like, from my house, I think it was like 52 minutes, which isn't nothing. But I've never been to a Bassmaster, never fished any of those. So I just know that's probably a lot more serious. It's not like you chit chat with them. It's kind of business. And here, man, you have we went to the Mother Stewart Brewing.
Yeah.
And it's just super cool. Everyone there. And then we didn't go to the Bass U brunch, but they had like a sweet, I'm sure you've seen it, where Russ Snyder was doing demonstrations of in a creek right there, and it's super cool. And then the whole thing, man, like the getting together before and then the theater, I hardly find any disadvantage to it. They're not strict on stuff. So I made a big mistake. I messed up. So I'm not trying to brag, but I should have had 96 3/4 inches. Right. I had a 19 and a half that I got excited, and I had I don't have a catch thing. Jason's like, I'm going to get you one for a wedding present. And so I had it in a sandwich bag, and I must have flipped it over, and I got so excited, measured it. I had that thing in the net for 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm talking to my fiance, and she's like, you got 95 1/4. And I'm like, no, I should have 96. And I look, and it got denied. Drew and them, they called me to try to say, hey, man, if you need to flip that over, or do you got other photos? Tried to make it right. And obviously it was gone, but yeah, it's super cool, man. It's laid back. It's not strict.
When I first started doing this back in 2011, 2012, all the events had gatherings before for captain's meetings, after for weigh-ins, and we didn't even have Tourney X, so you had to show up and turn in your SD card. So all the events were those get-togethers. And over the years, we've gotten away from that just because it's so much more convenient to use the virtual meetings, and you can submit all your fish and just go home. You don't have to do any of that. So it's so cool to see an event that's bringing that back in a fun way, right?
Right. Yeah. It's very. I mean, it's, even though with this tournament, this was their biggest turnout. 81 people, 28 teams or 29 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, what this series pays out for that little, well, that's not a little amount of people, but compared to Bassmaster, it's incredible. And the stress level is, it doesn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're always stressed when you're out there fishing and you make mistakes or whatever, but it's super cool.
Yeah. Very good. Dwayne Wally said they wrote some code to be able to run that short and long day. So you fish Friday afternoon and then into Saturday, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Elvis Lee said he used Friday to pre-fish, then swing for the fence on Saturday. They haven't pre-fished for a single event they fished so far, which I guess that's true. You can kind of poke around on that late 100%. Friday and figure it out, and then really go after them Saturday.
That's what I would have, if we had low and clear water, which no one, I'll tell you this, Jason will tell you, this tournament would not have been won on the river if, look, one kid was fishing in, I think, the Derby, and he placed with 91 inches. I mean, that's why these bags, and it was clearer up there, but still, if it was low and clear, it wouldn't have been one on it. But what I would have done is on Friday, or I would say on Friday, I would have went and fished a lake, and then Saturday I would have swung for the fences. Like, who said that? Was that Elvis?
Yeah.
I would have swung for the fences with my glides, because it really does. It's nice. You can, if you have a technique that you're like, man, I don't catch much fish on it, but when I do, it really works.
Do you know if anyone fished Kaiser and caught a bunch of wipers while they were trying to catch largemouth?
There was a guy that fished Kaiser. He said he didn't say anything about wipers. He didn't say if he caught any. I mean, I know there is absolute studs, and supposedly there's teeners in there supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense because it's a world class, or not world class, but it's no motor, no nothing. Right. It's just not pressure.
Yeah, I mean, my brothers used to take my uncle's old metal boat out there and a couple of oars and push it around on that little lake. So that's funny. It was cool seeing it on the list.
We're getting a few wipers in the Great Miami.
Yeah. Okay.
They're 10, 12 pounds now.
Okay.
26 long.
Good times.
Yeah.
Elvis said Alan Reed fished Kaiser. There we go. All right, Alan.
Okay. Yeah. I knew someone did. I think the guy in second, he could probably tell us. I don't think that was him, but he fished. Where did he fish? Alum Creek. I could be wrong.
It's either Alum.
Okay. We had a guy in the tournament that was Josh. What was it? Josh something. He had a 21-inch largemouth, a 20 1/4. And like an 18.75, and he just couldn't shake those 16s he had. And that bag right there, I was like, man, I don't care if I have. Jason told me, he was talking to me. He's like, dude, when I lost that fish and I lost a whole inch, he was like, dude, you got this. And I was like, man, dude, but this guy can catch a 19 or a 20, and he's like on my heels.
Yeah. I mean, when you're playing with these kind of fish, man, you never know. You never know that people can run you down late. So it's cool that you hung on. I'm glad you won the individual event. I'm sure it was special for y'all to win the team event 100%. As well.
That was the goal. That was really the goal going into it. This actually was the bonus. I signed up for that because I knew with this guy, I could cash a check. That's how confident I was. And then the river was just right. I said, might as well, if we can cash a check in that, why not do that? Do the individual.
Yeah.
So
I know, Dylan, I know you're not heavily involved anymore in the tournament scene there in Ohio. Jason, it sounds like you still fish with the Cincinnati. Is the Buckeye Trail still a thing, or is that gone away these days?
It's gone.
Okay.
It's the OKF now.
Okay. So what's the kayak fishing scene like in Ohio? I know there's a lot of people, a lot of anglers in Ohio. Is it still doing well?
I fished the CKF, and there's usually, anywhere from 35 to 45 people, per tournament. We've had 4 tournaments so far this year. I'm right now leading Angle of the Year, 2 seconds, a first, and a fourth. I mean, it's a good time, usually after the event, we all have a meetup, and, the Strictly Sell is the one that sponsors it. He usually has a bunch of stuff that he gives away, in the raffles before we pass out the trophies. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Tacey's a good dude. He's, I got my compass off of him in 2017. And that was like my first pedal drive kayak. And I got the PA 14 and I started fishing the tournaments. And my first year in it, I'm not a largemouth guy. I was really new to that. I got lucky. I won a tournament at Rocky Fork. And My brother was in it. We enjoyed it. It was great. Like going out there with my brother, and we were so competitive. And I kind of stepped back from it. You know, he had a baby, but their trail is absolutely awesome. It's cool.
Yeah. So, any more questions for these guys? Drop them in the comments. Like I said, it was such a pleasure to have y'all on and talk. Just because, like I said, as an Ohioan talking about Ohio waters, it's cool. I've been in the South a long time now. I kind of talk like a Southerner now because I've been down here so long. But the things I remember from up there, man, that they don't have down here is pay lakes all over the place and drive-through liquor stores. They don't have either one of those down here. I don't know what's up with. They still have pay lakes everywhere up there.
Oh yeah, they do. My family owns a pay lake, which you know, Jason. I don't think I've ever told you this. Stony Meadows in Madison. Yeah, my family owns Stony Meadows, and but we have Triangle Lake that's in Carlisle, Franklin. It's like one of the popular ones. They used to be kind of a dump. Now they really care about their fish. Like you catch one, you can't pull it out of the water. They gotta come up and stuff. And then you got other ones that put, what is it, phosphor in the water to get their gills burning, you know, shitty stuff like that to just get them to bite. But my dad, when I was young, he never bass fished. So that's what we went and did. And the only reason I bass fished is my younger brother would be like, let's go to the creek. And we'd fish this little creek that feeds into our river. And believe it or not, you can pull like 18-inch smallmouth out of this creek that's no wider than a driveway.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't grow up bass fishing when I lived up there either. I grew up on the Stillwater River a lot. My uncle lived on it, and we used to go sit in the water and sneak little kings and drink little kings and fish for catfish. but we didn't fish for bass. I didn't start bass fishing until I moved to the South and got married. My father-in-law said, "Hey, if you're in this family, you're bass fishing." So he taught me 30 years ago.
Awesome.
And I wish I would have when I was up there. I didn't know what I had, man. Didn't know what I had.
It might have not been that good back then.
Yeah, man, I probably not. You're probably right. Elvis is asking, are you one of you coming up to Minnesota for the KAS? I think we already asked that.
No, I won't be.
I'm thinking about it. Drew was like, "Hey, man, we got a house, you know," because I do some photography for the Chegan boys and stuff, and so what is that sound? What was that?
I don't know. We'll start.
But the Chegan boys, they're going up there because it's like the Chegan event or whatever. I can't remember, but I might go. I mean, it'd be stupid not to go because that's those fish are totally different. They're beautiful. They're big. They're, I mean, I think, 96 inches here looks totally different there. You know what I mean? It's like they're probably got an extra pound.
Yeah, they're tall and thick up there on the Susky. Elvis says probably take over 100 inches to win. Yeah, there you go. Well, gentlemen, I don't have anything else for you. I'm gonna let you get out of here. I appreciate you taking the time to visit with me. Anybody you want to shout out or anything you want to throw out there before I let you slide?
Go ahead, Jason.
My wife, first of all, for letting me fish as much as I do. Then my buddy Brandon Palmer at Little Miami Outfitters for sponsoring me and giving me a bunch of rods. Hamilton Bait and Tackle for always keeping everything in stock that I want. And then we talked about Brian Tacey, but I'm really rough on my kayak, and he's replaced so much crap on it, and no questions asked.
There we go. Awesome.
Yeah, it's Hamilton Bait and Tackle for me. They always, as you see, just all the mega bass stuff. I love to collect the Respect series, and those guys always have the hookups on everything. Is like your JDM stuff, like G Crack, the Respect series, any new special mega bass thing that comes out. I mean, they carry so much other stuff. They're really big. What's got their start is catfishing and stuff. But they're a great company. Other than that, man, I thank everyone that called me that day. My buddy Kyle, my brother, my other buddy Jason, my girl. They just reached out and were like, I'm gonna say this, holy shit. And they were just, you know, and they obviously we're getting married, and the girlfriend seen the payout, and she was like, oh my gosh, like you can make this for fishing. And but yeah, man, I want to thank Drew for that trail is really cool. It really definitely is. You basically get a free day. You get a free day to miss up or really smash them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Elvis said, you can, if you smash them the first day, second day, you can just swing for the fences on whatever you want to. But
if they come back down here again, man, they had one in Missouri last year. I couldn't go. I'm going to snatch my son and go up there and fish it because it looks like a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Brings up.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you once again. Congrats to both of you for the team win, for the individual win, Dylan, and good luck the rest of the year. Appreciate y'all taking the time tonight.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah. And everybody for watching. We'll see y'all next week. Ryan will be back maybe. If not, we'll hold it down once again. So appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.